during this time where traffic control operators are literally coming out and saying that we have to get additional jobs, sometimes 2 more jobs on top of being a traffic control operator, just so that we can feed our family because there's no money coming in. At the same time that we have troops who've only gotten 1 more check left before they run out of funds and they're going to have to continue to serve our nation without being paid. Before people who rely on SNAP and EBT to be able to feed their family are going to find that their cards no longer have funds, that their governments can no longer provide assistance in putting food on their tables. All during this time, Trump's only concern was this interview right here.
Numerous cases having to do with the fraud of the election, the 2020 election, and because of everything that we found out, I guess they owe me a lot of money. Biggest tax.
President Trump there in the White House taking questions from reporters, and we wanted to dip in here because you might have heard him be asked about a piece of New York Times reporting that is out in just the last couple of hours. A piece of reporting we should note very clearly here that NBC News has not confirmed, suggesting that the president wants the DOJ, the Justice Department, to pay him something like $230 million in compensation for the federal investigations against him.
The party, the Republican Party, has been strangleholded by 2 particular groups. The one hand, we have the rich and the powerful. Now, this group has always existed. There's always been lobbying. There's always been tech billionaires. There's always been individuals with a lot of cash who've been influencing how our country grows. They've managed to grab hold of the Republican Party. And all you got to do is you got to look to Trump and his ballroom, his $240 million ballroom, and who he has not only paying to have the ballroom erected, but who will be attending some events at the ballroom. Names like this: individuals, representatives from OpenAI, Microsoft, Coinbase, Palantir, Lockheed Martin, Amazon, Google, oil and gas moguls Harold Hamm, Blackstone CEO Steve Schwarzman, and Bitcoin billionaires the Winklevoss twins. All individuals who are not worried about whether the government reopens or not because their checks do not stop coming. These are all individuals who have plenty of money and do feel zero pressure about the government shutting down, who give no damns about the average American and how bad things are going to get, which is why it's so important to witness what is currently occurring. Because now we're going to move to the second group that has a stranglehold on the Republican Party. And these are also individuals that you are not going to be able to negotiate with because they don't give a damn about policy. They don't give a damn about taking care of the average American. All they care about is, and you can guess it, their agenda. Who is the second group I'm talking about? Well, to name them specifically, I want to turn to an individual that I think is a fascinating individual, an individual who has an incredible story, who's served this nation above and beyond. I'm talking about Scott Payne here, who has released a book called Codename Pale Horse: How I Went Undercover to Expose America's Nazis. Now, this individual had a talk, and I can't remember if it was with Vlad.
The majority of white nationalist groups are now accelerationists. And this is scary because I'll explain to you what an accelerationist is. An accelerationist does not believe there's a political solution to save the white race. They believe that society is going to collapse on its own or from man-made events, and they want to speed it up, hence accelerate it.
It's a global movement. He talks about the fact that these organizations are actively working to destabilize democracy. They are working towards something that I think he called the Boogaloo, which is basically the erosion of democracy and a next civil war, wherein they hope this time they can reestablish the white race. And we're already seeing that reflected in some of the messages that are being leaked through this very short presidency. We saw what happened with the young Republicans and how they actually view minority communities. We saw recently where, and this is from PBS, President Trump's nominee to lead the Office of Special Counsel has currently been rescinded because the individual, Paul Ingrassia, has made multiple racist remarks, to include saying that the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday should be tossed into the seventh circle of hell, and saying a Nazi streak in me exists from time to time. These are the individuals that Scott Payne is talking about, individuals who are not all bark, individuals who are not sitting around in the backyard yelling out the N-word while drinking Bud Light. These are individuals who are going to Ivy League schools, who are networking with powerful lawmakers and cementing themselves in positions to affect change. And that change is, again, the destabilization of democracy, not just in our country, but globally. Two groups that you are currently contending with, and then somewhere in the middle is the traditional republic, who every once in a while we'll see them come out, we'll see them pop their head out and say like, hey, what's happening right now is wrong. Hey, we need to reopen the government. Hey, we should not be at home. Hey, we need to fund some type of bill to get things moving again. It is a very interesting thing to study and to see unfold, because you don't necessarily know how it's going to play out, because one side is trying to fight the traditional way of appealing to a heart, of appealing to constituents, making a difference in making these individuals feel some type of way, when we're no longer playing with the same set of rules or the same type of people. Those individuals that are still on the fence, all you need to do is look to this man in the White House when people are about to starve in their homes. People are crying. I'm seeing videos of people breaking down crying because they just cannot afford to live. He is laughing in the White House about paying himself. He is saying it's kind of funny. I'm now the decider of how much I should get paid. He can't make it any more clear what he cares about, y'all. This man is a billionaire, multi-billionaire, added something like $5 billion to his personal wealth, and then looks you in the camera during the government shutdown, the second longest government shutdown in our history, to say, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the $230 million I'm going to take from the taxpayer. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What am I going to do with that? It's funny, right?